technique, and then I just edged each one with some of the walnut stain distress stickles. And then I used one of the cream of flowers with the bling in the middle. And then right here I had stamped it, Owl Love You Forever. So that's my little mini. I hope you guys like it. It was a lot of fun to make. And thanks, Bona, for the inspiration. Bye.
They're a public record. However, each lodge keeps its own records. I find it interesting that George Washington, Harding, Eisenhower, Carter, and the younger Bush all chose to be sworn into the office of the president with a hand on this Masonic Bible dating from 1770. One has to be male and believe in a supreme being to seek membership as a Scottish Freemason. They insist their fraternity is not a religion, although atheists are ineligible for membership. Freemasonry is not a secret society, but members are strongly admonished under pain of death.
One of them, which I mentioned before, is the satin floss. It is so silky and beautiful to work with that it really makes anything come to life and literally pop off of your needleworking fabric. We're going to take a look at this octopus. One of the things that's so great about the satin floss is the sheen. First of all, I'm going to thread a needle. I like to use the number 24 chenille needle on this really tightly fabric with very pointy tip, helps me to pierce through. And I'm only using 3 strands of the satin floss here, but I like to have a little bit bigger eye on my needle because it really opens up the fabric and makes the whole large enough that I can pull my thread through without too much stress on it. I already have my pattern transferred nicely onto the fabric, but I'm going to draw a little guide so that I can do the shading and blending technique with the yellow and the green. So I'm going to take a look at about where the shadow would naturally fall on the octopus's head. And I'm just going to draw a little guide. So I want this left side to be mostly green, and I'm going to fill the rest of him in with yellow. Then what I'm going to do is take my green floss. Normally I'd start at an end, but for a demonstration I'm going to kind of start at the middle. And I'm going to pull my floss straight through. I'm going to make my first stitch right on this line, and that's going to be my guide. Rather than doing a perfectly traditional stitch where all of my stitches are parallel to each other, I'm going to kind of fan them out so they're closer together on the inside and wider on the outside. So I'm going to do kind of an enlarged version. Of course your stitches would be closer together, but I want to give you a good idea about how to accomplish this look yourself. See, I'm leaving a little bit of space in between my stitches, and then they're almost touching towards the center. And I'm going to kind of leave some distance between where my stitches end all around this line. So I got a really long one. Now I'm going to come up a little bit shorter. And you can see how beautifully the satin floss is filling in that area. The coverage is so nice. It goes a lot more quickly than you would expect it to. Now we're going to pretend that I've done this whole green section of the octopus's head. To finish off his look, I'm going to thread another needle with some yellow satin floss. Using the same idea of stitching very closely towards the inside and expanding and fanning out a little bit as we go around, I'm just going to make my stitches on either side of the green satin floss so that they almost become one. And if your floss actually separates some of the stitches that you've already made, I think that that's even better. It makes a very clean, beautiful blend. This is a really tight weave fabric, so you do need to pull a little bit to get yourself through. You can already see how beautifully this bright, vibrant thread is picking up the light. And already in the short amount of stitching that we've done, you can see how the colors.
What I'm doing is just working with recycled materials and getting ready for my mixed media workshop. I always get my materials ready and ahead of time, so I came in today to prepare my things that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using the styrofoam to show that you can actually use it to create collage material for mixed media pieces. This is great because it's painted styrofoam left over from projects that I do with the kids, and it can be used as a surface for collage. It can be used to alter and melt onto a canvas. It can be used to create beads. It can be used to do mosaics. This is just wonderful, wonderful material, and I really use it all the time. And of course you can see that they're just beautiful pieces in just by themselves. And so I cut them up into squares, and I use these as backgrounds for mini collages. I also use these to emboss on my Zizix machine. I've actually embossed the styrofoam, and it works really well for that. And so I end up using the smaller pieces. I actually cut and create mosaic pieces. I use this both in my classes with my kids, with my students, and I even had a lady who came in and she did a whole table out of the mosaic pieces. And once you put an acrylic sealer over it, you really can't tell that it's styrofoam. And I even had someone who came in and saw one of my pieces I did where I put resin on the styrofoam, and she thought it was glass. So I've done a lot of really cool things with styrofoam, and I started doing this primarily because I work with my students, and they have leftover styrofoam covered plates, and I just got tired of throwing them away. So after a while I decided to try using them for the collage material, and it works just wonderfully. I don't actually, use the plates right away. I wait until they're layered. Like this one here I can still use for painting. This one here I can also use for painting. And sometimes I also, after a class is over, well, this one actually is double, so I probably will use this one for material, for recycled material. But sometimes I wait until there's some really interesting textures on the plate, or it's layered with metallic paint, or sometimes I purposely put metallic paint over the whole entire thing, just give it a really more interesting look. I also had a collage artist who took the mosaic pieces and covered a base. It was just absolutely beautiful. And so you need to think about this as a resource for collage material, because it's a whole lot better than putting it in the garbage or putting it in, it doesn't recycle. They don't take this in the recycling bin, and so it ends up in the landfill. And so I think that this is a great thing to do. I want to also say that I made a bracelet. It was called a Be Green bracelet, and I took little pieces